Hello, my name is Ruth. So I have a lot to say. First disclaimer, I have no medical training, so I am in no position to give everyone medical advice. I am just a desperate patient who is looking for answers, and I have found answers. So I'm just going to be sharing with you what I have found, what has helped me, and I'm hoping this will be an inspiration to you, that maybe some of the things that has helped me, that they might be also an answer to your problems, or that they just that this testimony inspires you to continue down your healing path, and that you learn to listen to your intuition and find the things that work for you. Because I think each one of us, we have a different healing journey, and at different times in our lives, different things help us. And also something else I'd like to say, something I discovered is with a lot of my problems, a lot of were in the spiritual arena. So I found a lot of healing in spiritual things, and I have a suspicion that that's with a lot of cases of our problems, emotional, physical, psychological. A lot of it is in spiritual cause. That's just my suspicion. So that's why I feel it's so important that I talk about it, because I think that breeds an awareness that healing needs to take place in all areas of life. So where my problems are still, some of them have. So now I'm 36. So since I'm a teenager, so like for the last 20 years, I still have chronic throat pain. So that's like something I've always worked with me. For the last 5-6 years, I have chronic ear pain. And for I don't know how long, I think like 10 years, I have insomnia and constant low energy. So what did the medical doctors? So with the throat pain, they're like, oh, your polyps are too big, let's operate them. So when I was 19, I got an operation. What did the operation do? Nothing. The only thing that helped was afterwards, he was like, here, use the neti pot. So that helped, because like with the neti pot, you flush out a lot of viruses, so there's less infection and less pain. So that was like the only thing. And just with my problems, medical doctors could not help me, or they would be like, here, take some antibiotics for your pains. And it's just like medical doctors couldn't help me. So that's why I had to find healing in other places. Okay, so what else happened? Also, in 2009, I got married, but unfortunately, it was not a very healthy marriage. So that also caused a lot of emotional, not so niceness, also pain, and just like, and also for like 9 years, for a very long time, my husband and me really tried to make the marriage work. And also we stayed way too long together because of religious conditioning, because we were told marriage is holy, you can make any marriage work with anyone, and there was just a lot of like pressure, like I said, and just like that, because I was in a situation that was just unhealthy for both of us for way too long, and just constantly working and trying. So I feel like that also contributed to my low energy, because I was constantly because once we decided to separate, all of a sudden I felt like I had more energy. So that was like one piece of the puzzle. And then also so that was like something. And then also I had insomnia. And that was like from a past relationship. So something happened in a relationship. It was emotionally very dramatizing. It was more that the person just basically rejected me, and that was very emotionally very dramatizing to me. So that caused a lot of anxiety and just like a lot of emotions, and I couldn't deal with them at the time. So what did I do? I just slept. I just slept all the emotions away, and I watched a lot of TV. But then what I realized, all that emotions and all those problems were buried down in my sleep. And that's why I had insomnia for the longest time, because I buried all those things in the time. At the time, I didn't realize that I was doing that. That was just something I think I realized like last summer. And yeah, at the time I was just thinking, well, I think it's better I sleep and I watch a little bit TV than try to do drugs or alcohol. Like, that's kind of like what a lot of people go to. So I thought at the time that was like a better solution. But I didn't realize by sleeping, like as I was having all these emotional rejection, just like all these dramatic emotional experiences, and I was like sleeping, that was buried in my sleep consciousness. And that's why I had insomnia for the longest time, because that was not something. So yeah, I will tell you a little bit later how I heal that. So then, so my husband and me, we got married 2009, 2012. We had a little boy. Luckily, everything went well. It was a home birth, so luckily everything went well. And he's a happy little man, super active, yes, and he's very smart. So luckily that went well. But then 2017, we tried to get pregnant again, and I ended up having 2 miscarriages. One in April, May 2017, and one in November 2017. So both of them were within the first trimester. The first one, it just bled out everything, so I didn't need any operation or anything. And I went to the doctor, the OB/GYN, and they did a lot of blood tests, they did a pregnancy test just to make sure everything was bled out. But with that first pregnancy loss, looking backwards, I knew something had messed up my hormones. So I think maybe it was like the what do you call it, baby? Anyway, it was just like I got depressed because like my hormones were totally off, and I remember after the first miscarriage, I didn't want to cuddle with my son, and that is something totally out of my character. I love cuddling with my son. That is not the person who I am, so that totally messed me up, and just like I could tell my hormones were just totally messed up, and I was just crying a lot. And at the time before the first miscarriage, I was like constantly like addicted to doing laundry, and then like in the beginning I couldn't do any laundry at all. It's just like things were totally off, and at the time I didn't realize that my hormones were totally out of balance, and I think it would have just continued on for like that for like how long. But then what OB/GYN, she said, like, I think she said, like, wait like 2 or 3 months, like once you have your periods like 2 or 3 times, and then try getting pregnant again. So that's what we did. And then in November I had another miscarriage, so that was also again within the first trimester. And yeah, but that one it was too far along, so then they had to do the operation. And as soon as I woke up from the operation, I felt so liberated. I was like, so later on I talked to my homeopath about it, what had happened, and she was suspecting, her suspicion is that from the first miscarriage that something had still stayed within the womb, so there was like something throwing off the hormonal balance in my body. And then with the second miscarriage, because they went and did an operation, they actually took out everything, so they took out whatever there was still left over from the first miscarriage. And then also immediately after that second operation, the second miscarriage with the operation, I could tell my hormones were back to normal again. I could totally tell. That was like a huge liberation. So even though it was not fun experiencing 2 miscarriages, but I have to say, if I hadn't had the second miscarriage, I would have missed out on a lot of healing that would have happened. Also, so number one, the physical aspect, they took out that part, whatever was still in there from the first miscarriage, so then it was taken out with the second miscarriage, with that operation. And then because I actually had a proper, I was in the hospital and they took it out, so I live in Germany, and I think since a couple of years, so now what they do is they collect all the miscarriages, and then like every couple of months, I don't know how often, they do like a burial. So I remember I got the invitation for the burial of the miscarriage, so it wasn't just myself, but it was like a lot of families. So I don't know, they waited like a couple of months, and then they did that for all the families who wanted to come and participate. And I remember first, though, like I got the last, like, no, I don't want to do it. and then I called and I was like, I really don't want to do this. I don't want. But then the lady, she really encouraged me to come, and I realized it was really, really good argument, because it gave me a space to cry. It gave me a space to feel all the emotions and to let it out, because in the end of the day, you have to let that pain out. So that was really, and it's just like, I felt like I was giving permission to grieve, and I feel like that was really important. And they did lovely ceremony with lots of beautiful music and candles and just like a lot of like really nice touching things. So it was really nice, and it was really important that I get. And something else, so that was at the local hospital where they took out the operation. They also have, so there's like a one, so it's kind of like, I don't know if they're pastors, but they have so they're either Protestant or Catholic, and they're like, I don't know if they're pastors, but they have like, they're kind of religious functions. So they have like religious, so they come from the background of religion and trying to help you. So here in German, they have something that's called Seelensorge. So it's kind of like, it means like taking care of your soul. So they, so that's something they also do a lot, like the churches. I feel like it's their mission to take care of your soul. So here they had something they offered here in the hospital. They offered a self-help group for women who had had miscarriages, and I went to that, and we met about 6 times, and that also was so tremendously healing to me. So if you are in a situation where there is a self-help group for it, I highly recommend them, because they're really, really good, because psychology and therapists, they know what to do. Like, they have special exercises they do with you to help you work through your emotions, and at the same time, the very first beginning there, everyone goes around in a circle and tells you your story, and we're all crying, we're all miserable, everything is just horrible, and you're like, I'm not alone. And just like, you have this feeling of, okay. So it was really, really, really good. And also, I'm kind of sad, but we were, in the beginning, the very first meeting, we were only 4 ladies who actually came. And then after the first meeting, the lady, she actually had lost an actual baby, so she felt like this group was not the right place for her, and so she didn't come anymore. It's just like emotion, she needed something different. But the 2 ladies also had miscarriages, so, and it was just so liberating talking to other ladies. And then something we also talked about it. Yes, maybe you know someone who's had a miscarriage 10, 20 years ago, but they are not emotionally going through the same thing as you are. Like, now I'm looking back, obviously I'm not sitting here crying. I have dealt with a lot of the healing already, but if it's really, really fresh, it was just totally different, because you were with someone who's going through the exact same as you, because it's still very fresh and the emotion is still like a similar thing. So it was amazing. It was really, really good. I feel like it really helped me, that group. Yeah, and also like lots of loving and caring, so that really, really helped me. So I did that. So then by summer 2018, so like half a year later, I was like, okay, I'm ready. I want to try for another baby. And then what happens? My husband and me, we decided to split up. So emotionally, I experienced a 3rd miscarriage. I wasn't pregnant, and I didn't experience a miscarriage, but it was just like, there's not a like wall here. No, you're not gonna have a second baby. It's not happening. So physically I experienced 2, but emotionally I experienced 3 miscarriages. So it's just like, who knows why it didn't happen, but I'm sure there is a reason for it. And something that my mom said that I think helped me a lot, she was like, with the miscarriage, she's like, if you look from a different perspective, Mother Nature decided for you that the baby couldn't grow, because I know sometimes women are given the choice, do you want to keep the pregnancy, do you want to determine? I think that is a really, really difficult decision. But if it's just, the pregnancy is just lost and it's gone, so it's a little bit less traumatizing. It's still not nice, but there is a reason why a miscarriage happens. So, and also like looking back on it, just because our marriage was so unhealthy for both of us, So I just think I was not getting the proper emotional support that I needed to carry out a whole nother pregnancy. I just think my soul, my body just couldn't do it because of all the health issues I have, and just because our relationship wasn't healthy, it wasn't stable, so we couldn't, there was just no way to carry us and bring another child into this marriage. Anyway, you kind of come up with stories to try to make peace with stuff, so it just helps. How much of it is true and how many other aspects of it, who knows. So we decided in the summer 2018 to separate. It took like 3 months till my husband actually found an apartment. Those 3 months were probably the worst. I don't know, they were pretty bad. So I just remember I was crying like every day. I got headaches from crying every day. I thought something was wrong with my eyes because every time I put on my eyeglasses, I was like, the headache got worse. And I was like, and I went like so many times to the glasses place. I was like, here, you guys, my glasses are wrong. You guys need to straighten it out. And they did like eye tests with me. Especially one lady there, she was so patient and so caring. Like, she was really nice to me. So I'm really grateful for that. But at the end, she was just like, it's the stress that's causing you all your headaches. And when you put on the glasses, it just makes it worse. And yes, so they were like really doing tests for me, trying out different glasses. Like, they tried all kinds of stuff. At least they took me serious, so I do appreciate that a lot. But that wasn't the problem. Also, then afterwards, when my husband moved on, I was like, I realized my hair hadn't grown and my nails hadn't grown during that time. Like, I hadn't cut my nails once just because of the stress I was going through. So it was really, really stressful. But obviously, looking back, we should have split up way, way earlier. But obviously, when you're stuck in a situation, something you don't realize how bad it is. And yeah, and then when you just talk all your life, I don't know, when marriage is just like so precious and just like so much pressure put on you to make a marriage work. Anyway, it's what it is. So it's just a learning process and growing. So then he moved in the beginning of November. He moved out on the 1st of November. And then on the 4th of November, I went to an event. It was about health and happiness. So there were these ladies. They introduced a spiritual healing modality. It's called Blueprint. So you're giving back your blueprint. So it's kind of like a blue layer, a spiritual layer, obviously, that's put over you. So I'm very sensitive to energy, so I could immediately feel a difference when they did it. So what did I feel immediately? Less thoughts, more peace, obviously. And also, like, what I felt like my muscles actually got stronger. I also felt my intuition got stronger. So like something that had happened before, I had these 2 miscarriages and they're all within the first trimester. And the first one I thought was like a boy, a very active boy, and I felt like the second one was like a more calm girl. Like, that's the energies I felt from the miscarriages. Before I was like, yeah, I think that's how it was, I'm not sure. And then once I got the blueprints, I was like, no, that's what it was, we're not going to question it. So it was like something in my intuition, it got stronger. So there was like something, and like also my intuition, like, what's the right path for me, what's this? So that's really what helped. And then also, because that time, it was like a very emotionally, very tough time. So sometimes there was just times I couldn't move, literally, I couldn't move. I was just in bed crying. The pain was just too overwhelming. So then what's the last thing you can do when you're stuck? You pray, you start praying. And before, I would get nice, fuzzy feelings when I pray. And then once I got the blueprint, I was like, I felt like this golden light within my heart. So I felt like I got closer to God with that. So at that time, they just gave us this temporary 40-day. So then because I felt like the temporary really helped me. So then I got the permanent one. So like in December 2018, my son and me, we both got it. And at the time he was 6. And so what did we feel? I felt like on the artistic area, a hard wall was taken down between my son and me. And then also, and also at the time, my friend, she also gave me, it's kind of like, it's another healing, it's like a, what do you call it? Something that's given to you. So it's called like the absolute health. So when she gave it to us, I felt like there was like an internal switch was flipped over. Because, with my chronic pains and my chronic fatigue and chronic insomnia, I just could do what, I did so many things. I changed my diet, I tried yoga, meditation, essential oils, I tried all kinds of different supplements, I spent so much money on it, and I got some kind of results, but never the results that I wanted. Like, I was just like so frustrated, I was like constantly hitting a wall, and I felt like once she gave me that healing, I don't know, it's just like spiritual, like something is like taken away, like this blockage. So once she took that away, all of a sudden I've been led to things that are actually helping me. Like, I feel like before there was a blockage, like there was no way I could get to complete health. So I felt like that really, really helped. So then what I have, and then a couple of months later, I actually went to the dentist to get a tooth pulled. I'd known about it for like 2 years already, that one of my root canals had gone bad, and there was actually giving a lot of like virus, like giving my body like a lot of viruses, or I don't know, negative stuff was coming from that tooth because it had gone bad. And he actually told me about that 2 years ago, and I was like, I just didn't want to get the tooth paid, I didn't want to pay for the dental work. But then I finally did it, and once I got that pulled, I was like, it was such a liberation. Like, I just felt like less baggage on me emotionally and physically. Like, that was definitely another cause for my health problems. And then also what had happened, there's this homeopath, I've known her for like 2 years already, and I'd taken classes with her. She, the local folk socialist, she gives classes, and I did like 2 5-day liquid fast with her, so I knew her and I really liked her, and I knew she did homeopathy, but at the time I was like, oh no, I don't want to go to another doctor, I don't want to go to another therapist, they all can't help me. It was just always like, I just got so frustrated wherever I went, they could never help me, so I didn't think I wanted to go to her. But then all of a sudden I started going to her, and she is really helping me. So that's kind of what happened. Like, all of a sudden, like, I found the things that helped me. So then what happened? I think something else that I don't want to forget. During that year, 2017, that I had to do miscarriages, I also received osteopathy. So osteopathy, so here in Germany, so the way it works, first you become a physical therapist, and then that's like a training on top of it. And what they say, they're like, oh yeah, we are balancing the fluids in your body. And I'm like, okay, whatever that means. To me, who's a spiritual, emotional being, it's like, no, you are balancing my chi, my chakras. That's what it feels like to me. So it's kind of the way I would describe it. It's kind of similar to Reiki, but I feel like osteopathy is a little bit more sophisticated because these people have actually proper medical training, and I'm sure there's a lot of training that goes to it. It's not like Reiki where it's just like a weekend class and anyone can do it. I don't want to discredit that Reiki is bad. I've received it and I thought it was amazing, but I felt like osteopathy, there was more medical science behind it, and the people who were doing it, they had more knowledge. But then the problem with that is it's very medical. So like the people who train, and if you only see the body as like all the skeleton, the muscles, and just all that, and whatever foods run around in our bodies, if that's all you see, that didn't work for me. Because whenever I look at my problems, I always thought there was an emotional component to it. So I went to 3 different osteopaths until I found a lady who was just amazing. She was also emotionally sensitive, I think she had like extra training on top of it, like to work on the more emotional level, and it was really good. I went like every other 2 or 3 months to her, so like I went a total of a year to her. She really helped me, because with the 2 pregnancies, what had helped, like I felt like my chi was just stuck. It was super muddy. It was not flowing, and I felt like the osteopath, she was like, it was very gentle kind of energy, just flowing and just helping things to flow. It was just really good. And I just felt at the time I was just like swimming, like emotionally I felt like I was just like swimming and swimming and swimming. I was just trying to survive. And whenever I went there, like you kind of just lay down, and then I just felt I was like, every time I went there I felt like I was on an island. Like that was like when I could rest and just take a break. So like whenever, it really made a big difference. And then also my husband, that weekend when we decided to separate, that following session I had with her, she was like, she could tell she could tell something was off in my energy levels, and she asked me. So that's how sensitive she was. She was also sensitive to different energy, and that's why she was the perfect therapist for me. So I think it's really important to listen to your guts and see what works for you. So that was really good. And also at the time, I had no energy, emotionally, I was just horrible. I could never have gone to like a doctor or a health practitioner who was like, now you need to do this, now you need to fast, or now you need to do all these supplements. Like I was not capable of doing a lot of things. I just needed someone to help me and support me. So that was the right thing for me. But then like after a year, I felt like I couldn't take her energy anymore. I felt like if I would have had to go one more time, I felt like spiritually I would have to throw up. It was just meant that energy, I got what I needed, and if I would have gotten more of it, it would have been bad. So I'm just saying it's really important for you to tap into your intuition and feel what feels good, what doesn't feel good. So I'm just saying like there's like healing, at different states of our healing journeys, we need different things, and that's really important that we go within and listen to it. Because yeah, I definitely think not everything is the right thing for everyone at the right time. So that's really helped, and that's kind of also afterwards, that's when I started working with Marion. So she has like, so that's why I got the blueprint from her, and then my son and me, we both got it. I felt like that really helped. And something else that the blueprint does, it over time, it clears out different things in your systems. I think it works on all levels, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So sometimes what I can tell is like when I'm like really relaxed, I can tell like how I start shaking. I literally start shaking, and I can feel like something is happening in my body, something is coming out. So it's just like, it's definitely, it's real, and I can totally feel it. So yes. So 2019, if I look, was probably so last year was the most difficult year of my life. I emotionally had experienced 3 miscarriages. My husband, we decided to separate, even though it was very loving and caring separation, but still it was pretty dramatic. And we really tried to make it work, and we also did marriage counseling. So we did everything we could, but at the end of the day, we just don't fit together. Our worldviews just don't fit together. So that's why we're just like, and once he moved out, I felt like we're like I just realized how we were constantly like emotionally, spiritually, we were constantly fighting each other. Like it was like rubbing against each other. And then once he moved out, I could feel like how that was like gone. So that was like it was like a part of liberation, and he felt the same. So yeah, so after he moved out, and with all the miscarriages, I just felt like my family was torn apart, like just taken away from me. There was nothing I could do. So I was just emotionally, it was just in a really bad spot. So that was really tough. And then I went to another self-help group. I was really lucky that I saw it, but so that was like by like family counselors. And it was like a total of 4 meetings, and then also like there were other people who had just separated, so they're all going through the same emotional thing. And yeah, it was also the same. This meeting was also really, really healing, and because we were given space to talk about emotions in a safe space, and we did like different exercises to help us work through these emotions. So that was really, really good. And then I just know at the time my husband would be looking at me. He's like, "Why are you looking so mad at me? Why don't you tell me what's going on?" I was like, "No, I don't want to tell you what's going on, because I know all of everything I'm going on through right now is a lot of pain, frustration, just anger, and I don't want to let that out on you, because at the end of the day, I want to keep this relationship, I want to keep it neutral, friendly, because we have a kid together. We have to work together in the future, and I don't want to destroy a relationship just because I'm going through a tough time right now." So that's why I did the self-help group, to have a safe space to go through all the emotions, because it's just like with the grieving, like when you lose someone, there's like all these different grieving models that you go through. So it's very similar for when you separate. So you also it's just a natural thing that you go through all these emotions. So being in a support group was really, really good. It really helped. And I have to say I'm really grateful for my parents, because they watched my son at the time, and also because the meetings were kind of late, and so my dad would come and pick me up in the evening after the meeting was over, so that it was really good. And my parents were really good at not telling us what to do, telling us we were making mistakes. They were just kind of like keeping to themselves and just kind of like supporting us. And if I asked them to watch my son, they did it, so I could take care and take part in different events that just helped me just do that, so I could process all these emotions. So I was really grateful for my parents. And then also like another thing, like what I felt like something that came up was like I really had to work hard on not talking negative about my husband in front of my son, because in the end of the day I still wanted my son to have a good relationship to his dad. So it was like really challenging. It was really, really tough. And I hope I did okay. I hope. And yeah, my son, he still loves his papa. They have a good relationship. They're still super, super happy. So they seem to be okay. It seems like I didn't do too much bad talking, so it seems like it was okay. So that's good. So that's yeah. It was really 2019 was. I felt like I was like it was tough emotionally. So then it went on. I didn't even only get the blueprint, I also got other ones that helped me. So also what else I wanted to say, from what I understand, like all these, on a spiritual level, all of these dark levels have been put over us, and just like with every liberation I feel, something is taken away, and I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. I didn't even realize what was done to us. I think they just put like all these layers, like really black, dark brown layers over us, so we can't live to our fullest potential. Because I think in the end of the day, deep within our spiritual soul, we are golden, bright, so